Hello, my fellow weirdos. It's Halloween evening. I'm hiding from the children because we didn't know what was going to happen with WIC or SNAP. A lot of us, we'd put like $20 or something aside for the end of the month so we could get candy for the kids so it's fresh. And I didn't use it to get candy because was I wasn't sure what was going to happen with SNAP, and I'm like, y'all can't be just spending $20 on candy when that could feed you for, you know, 3 or 4 meals. So, I didn't put decorations up or anything, so I'm acting like I'm not home or, whatever. I'll just tell them I wasn't feeling well, so I don't need to make the world any, more of a harsh surprise for the kids, like after tonight. So I've just been laying low. I wasn't even outside today, but for a short time while they were at school. So, they haven't seen me yesterday or today, so, they won't notice. I feel badly. I was feeling very badly about that. And I thought, you know what? It's cold as shit here. Yesterday it got real cold, and I was like, oh, and it poured yesterday. So it's really not conducive for a lot of like trick-or-treating, I think, like last year was. And a lot of the parents, there's a lot of people of color, especially in my complex and the complexes around. And I don't blame the parents because especially after Kristi Noem, made a threat, what was it, last night or this morning, that, if there's a lot of children, we're not sure what's going to happen. We'll just mace them, so don't let your, whatever that was. So they're probably, and it is windy as hell out. I mean, really, really windy. It's whipping my flags. Not just waving. I mean, they're whipping in the breeze. So I just thought, you know what? Don't feel badly, Judi. However, I have some Halloween good news for Americans. Now, Michael Popak, he works off of Midas Touch. He's got his own stuff going too. He's an attorney. He's somebody you can trust, like Mark Elias and Mark Elias, Michael Popak, Richard Wright. Those are the people that are attorneys that like are political stuff, and they know what the fuck they're talking about. And Brian Tyler Cohen has those people on actually often when they're talking about the legal part of stuff, of politics stuff, things that are done. So you can have faith that he knows what the F he's talking about. Now, I do, and I think New Jersey was one of them. They did do this. A lot of states, the blue states, not one red state, he said. Not one. All blue states filed under, hell no, we know there's, provisional funds for just this event, the safety net. We know there are. And you can go, he said there's something that's a like a daily revenue for that. I think they need they only have 6 billion and they need 8 or something like that. And so he said that other part can come in from, I think he said under section 32, whatever. Just passing on what he said because I didn't check it up yet. I just saw it and I'm like, oh, I gotta let everybody know that don't be freaking out. And he was specifically reiterated several times, not one red state attorney general, not one of them. They were just like, and the red states are, as much as we are going would be in a bad position, as much as that was looking at for blue states too, red states were good. There were more people in red states that were going to suffer than there were in blue states that were going to suffer. And not one of the red states, I think it was attorney generals that do it, not one of them filed for their people. Not one of them. Now, two of the judges, because it's filed from the different states, two have already come back with a thing. I think one they said was Tennessee, which is needed very much there. And they said, like I said, I don't have absolute specifics, but he was encouraging. He says that two of them already came back and said, no. Donald, you need to go into that fund, use those funds, and the rest of it, get out of that Section 32. We're telling you exactly how to do it. Now do it now. Because usually, for those of you who don't know, the benefits are put on your card anywhere between the 1st and the 5th of the month. And it doesn't go alphabetical order, because my name is at the beginning of the alphabet, and I'm not till the 5th. The way it is something about the last two numbers of your case number, or whatever the hell it is, something like that. Where it's just a random. It's not alphabetical, it's not age, it's not anything. It's just serious random. And so I'm on the 5th. So who knows? Maybe they'll have it pushed through that they'll have them in time for most of us without maybe a day or two of but they'll be the full amount. This is good news, guys, because first of all, if two of them right off, the first two that came to an answer said, nope, you need to pay this shit. This is bullshit. You can't do this to the people of America. Absolutely fucking not. Not when we have it set up and you know damn well and you're just withholding it. You're not saying the well is dry. You're just lying to them. And that serves a precedent. How are the other judges going to say, nah, when the first two said, yeah, that no go. No way, Jose. No. You start funding those snap cards. And that's a little good news. I figured I sure the hell feel a little. There was a real weight on my chest. My sister and I got into a text argument. I think she's under a lot of pressure, and I think she got really triggered and about something, and it wasn't even how I said it. It was just a mess. But then she triggered me with some things she said, and then I lashed out. I mean, not like we didn't call each other, this or anything out, but it was like, I will not have you do, and it's just, then that triggers me, and because this is before I heard this EBT. Now, she had offered, she was saying I never thanked her. Now, you guys know I did, because I told you I did. I even said, a couple days ago, my sister asked, I was like, thank God, because I've been really worried. I said, you can't get to the protest, and I even remembered saying, and I told you guys, I said, you might not get to do any of the protests or anything, but if you are helping somebody who does do that, me, be able to keep doing that no matter what happens by helping me if the stamps don't come in, you are helping the protest because you helped me, and I'm a big advocate, a big activist. And I said, so thank you, because, now I don't have to worry about me. I can worry about everybody else and fight for them for that with knowing that at least I will be able to have the food so I can keep going on, if that makes any sense. But I remember in one of the videos saying that, and that was one of the things she said. So that was another thing that really triggered me today, and I feel badly about it now. But I didn't want to give in, because I always, okay, fine, you're right, and I didn't want to this time. Um, because she said I didn't thank her, and I did. I did thank her. And I said, you're actually helping a protest, somebody who does get to all those things. By helping me, you're helping. So thank you. Now, she says, all you said was you were worried about everybody. When I said we can help, don't worry about it. And she says, all you said was, yeah, but you're still worried about everybody else. I was like, I certainly apologize. I certainly thanked you. I absolutely, and I told, and she was denying that I did. And I'm not going to be gaslit. I'm like, oh my God. But you guys know, I told you straight out the other day. And that we don't, that, that's not, when my sister and I have a little tiff or something, it's not like that. That's why I think, I mean, I know I've been stressed, and I know they've been stressed, trying to not worry, they're worried about me with the stamps, and they want to help that, but that's also, I'm sure, going to put some strain on them, and I'm aware of that, I didn't tell her, but, so, my hand is killing me. This hand, my good hand, is starting to fucking do muscle shit that my other one was doing, that I was living with, but I can't have them both do that. And the one I rely on, I can't. It's been bugging me for a couple weeks. It's been doing that, like a week or two. And, but see, I don't tell her that. I'm not going to tell her every little thing. They don't tell me every little thing. So now I just feel bad about that, about not having, oh my God. I'm just sounds stupid, sounds awful. I'm just grateful that it's a very cold and incredibly windy day. And the fact that the kids probably are being kept on I don't see near as many as they normally are. Usually I thought I'd have to be like hiding, I mean, the windows are closed mostly anyway, because it is cold. I've got the windows closed. But, usually you see, I mean, from 7 till, what time is it? Yeah, it's like 6:30. I mean, usually to like 8 o'clock. You just see groups and hearing them. And there's 2 older kids. And a lot of people that normally decorate. There's only been a handful that did stuff, and it wasn't all out. This year is just... And then here, like I said, the weather's adding to it, so... Yeah, it's been a rough day for me. Like I said, partly because of feeling the way I am and worrying not just about me, but about other people. And then that tip with my sister, and I mean, I know I thanked her. Why do I keep saying apologize? I know I showed appreciation, and I know that. And I'm just upset because my sister is a very strong-willed person like me, but different. She's not as, I don't want to say, she's not as loud about it as me. I'm like, oh, hell no. She's more of like, well, I'll just try to talk them into my viewpoint, Not to say that I don't have my ways to, I hate to use the word manipulate. That's why I was like, well, she kind of like leads, And I'm not faulting that. Because when I need to do that, or I feel I need to try to make somebody understand what I'm my viewpoint, I will. We all do it, some are just too good at it, and they don't use it for good. But there's nothing wrong with knowing how to give people a relaxed and not, get them a little off guard, but not like bam them. Just enough off guard that they're willing to listen to maybe another angle perspective of you, It is manipulation, but that doesn't necessarily mean it always has to be bad. And sometimes things are done the right things are done for the wrong reason, or the wrong things are done for the right reasons. Um, and that does make sense, but it doesn't sound like it sometimes. But yeah, I'm just having a fucked up, kind of weird day, emotional wise. I really hope the rest of you are having a better Halloween. And I hope this news that Michael Popak, and it was just like done an hour ago when I saw, and I saw it right before I set up my phone to do this. So probably you might have heard some of the kids. I don't know. The window's closed, so. But yeah. So good thoughts. Now I don't know how that works. It probably works. The red states, even if their people didn't put in for that as part of those suits, they'll if they're ordered that they have to be dispersed, they'll get them. It won't be just the ones who objected and sued or whatever. It'll be everybody. So we'll win for the blue states initiative of fuck no, 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 no. We know for a fact. The AG knows. Excuse me. We know y'all have funds. We know they're there. You don't fucking lie to us too. He's like, excuse me. You lie to the people, but like, we hear what you're saying and we know the law. You know that, don't you, politicians? Like, the courts are listening to shit that you're talking on. I don't know how they think they're gonna get away with shit like this when they've already been slapped so many times. They know they don't have all judges in their pockets. It was just a way to get everybody frenzied and stressed out and triggering with each other. And then I was seriously petty. See, I'm the 2 years younger. So, and I'm the youngest of all the family. So, my brother and sister, my full siblings, I have 3 half siblings, sisters, and I'm like the youngest of everybody. Yeah. I'm 60F and 2 years old, and still within the family. When it comes to, like, people were more inclined to, like, I'm the last one paying attention. Yeah, being the youngest really bites, especially when it's by just a few years. And my brother is only 3 years older than me. When you're getting in your 30s and your 40s, about that point, it doesn't even matter a few years. And yeah, some of it was that, because I do concede to that. And she has no concept to how many times I have been. And the thing is, there are times that she's absolutely right too. I've watched her spin. They've been like 35 years together or something. And I've certainly been there when, a holiday or something, and they start snipping at each other, and they do it like a lighthearted, like a vicious with a joke in it kind of thing. But they kind of have said it because they mean it. On occasion, it's just they'll say something that they're doing it to piss you off. They both laugh or something. But that's not the same thing. I mean, it's inevitable. People are going to fight, and sometimes they're going to be a little snarky with each other, But there's times that watching it, as a third party type of thing, there's been times that he's been right and she's been wrong. From I heard him say it. She might not have heard it, but he did say it, or something like that. So she might not have heard me say it. But I know I did. But I also was triggered just all day. I told you so. Got no therapist, so I just had to tell you. And as I was setting up the phone, I thought, you know what? Don't fucking, And then I thought, no. Because if I'm having these little things happening to me, and I'm like been Little Miss. I know everything that's been going on, and I'm still trying to keep a good attitude, you know. If it's getting to me, might it might be triggering to other people, especially that they're using our children as pawns to make us cave into what they want. And oh, I've been making graphics too today, rage creating. That's why I decided to do this one, because I thought others are probably stressing too. So I think I'll leave it, because I was gonna say I was being petty. I was getting mad, and she doesn't like to do voice messages. Sometimes it's easier when it's a longer message or it's something that's you know. And she really hates listening to them. And normally I stay away from them, even when it's easier for me, because I'm in the middle of doing something. I need, you know. So I've been acquiescing to that need, because it just, whatever it is that the voice thing, she just can't listen to. It's like she can't concentrate. Whatever, you know. We all have our little idiosyncrasies. Fine. But my finger, my thumb, that's right here, this muscle, it's been where it pulls my thumb in like this, and I can't get it to fucking stop. And sometimes texting on the phone, it triggers it. And it's been triggered. Typing on the thing is not quite as bad. You're using your fingers, you're not using your thumb. And then if I use the thumb, my finger is still getting pushed in. So it starts cramping. And it hurts. And she had said something about, I didn't even listen to all this. I was triggered by this. So she didn't even listen to the whole sentence, the whole message. If you're not listening to everything somebody said, how can you possibly accuse them of something if you didn't even listen to all of it? How do you know I did? You know, that's what triggered me. And that's when I said my hand hurts, you know, and that's why I just, this time, that was the first time I messaged. It was all writing. And she's like, I'm calling BS on the hand. There's text to voice, voice to text. They have iPhones. I have Android, and I've always had Android. I've not found text to voice for typing. I've done where you can do voice, ask them, and it'll find the information. But where I can just text and type, it goes to, I can just voice it, and it types out your text message. I don't see that ever on any of my Android phones. If any of you know of how to do that on a freaking Android, not an iPhone, then let me know, because I have Android. And I said something like that. I was like, I was mad, so I did a voice. I don't even know if she listened to it. But I was pissed, and I yelled, well, Missy, you might forget that I don't have an iPhone. I have a fucking Android, and I can't do that. I was a bitch. I was. But fucking, I will, and then she said, I will not be gaslit. That's not the way. She said, well, it started to sound like you were being holier than that. The very simple message was, I texted a joint one, her kids, because I know they listen to with Spotify, just to say, yeah, just wanted to let you guys know. I mean, I don't listen, haven't, you know, gotten into the Spotify, because they've asked before if they want to link with, you know, if I wanted to link with their accounts or something. And I never really got into it, you know. And I was just letting them know. And I'm, you know, it's kind of a, so just letting you know, I mean, I've never gotten into it, but just letting you know that apparently they're running ads for ICE recruitment, and they're like supporting the regime, the Fourth Reich. So you might want to, you know, I said, you know, I haven't used Walmart and Target, which are for low income people, just because I the way they were treating employees and customers. It was just bullshit. Said I use Amazon only because I have to. I don't have a vehicle. This is what the voice thing. I was just letting them know that, they do support them. So, I mean, do whatever you want, but I'm just, yeah. And I wasn't ordering anybody or making anybody. I was just kind of like letting them know, just, because they are not, any of them have any, daily concept of what's going on with the politics. It's like, it's really, well, politics are real negative, and I don't want that negative vibe in my life. I get that. But there are times in history that sometimes it's either that or just be overrun if you don't object to it. This is one of those times in history in America. It matters where the rest of the country goes for the rest of the people on Earth's lives that are currently alive. Because it will take that long if it goes full. But she doesn't listen to politics, so she really doesn't get the concept of how they're trying to monopolize everything, just like the Hitler thing did. That who can stay on TV, what you can say, what you can't say, if you can eat or not, and it's causing a little rift because I know, and she knows very little politically, and that's because she doesn't want that negativity. Well, neither do I. But I don't want to be sitting there acting like, well, I don't want that negativity, while you let negativity run rampant all over your country. I mean, I don't get that. I don't get that part. But that doesn't mean you get to judge. If I'm very into it, how about you thanking me for doing all that, I never said that to her. I've said I'm fortunate in a weird way that I'm injured enough that I can't work full time. Where I have, if I'm hurting, can't pay bills. I get not everybody has the time, but I do. But I also have physical pain with it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I was too snarky or, but she didn't, let's put it this way. She just, and I even said, well, you came in hot on me right away. It's like, I didn't listen. I only listened to the start of it, and it triggered me and sounded like mom ordering me around. I didn't even listen to it, and I'm not going to. But then you judge me. I mean, is it me? Did I get, jump the gun or something? I'm trying not to show me as just Miss Perfect-y. Yeah, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm worried. And the thing is, I know that they can afford to help me, but it's going to make things tighter for them. They're used to going out to eat, they're used to going out to do, and I'm cognizant of that. So, all this happened before I heard the news about 2 of the judges' decisions. It's frustrating because, like I said, I've seen some snips between them. They come bring me, one of them brings me early, for a holiday or whatever. So I'm there way before anybody else, so I help or whatever, yap with them, and as we do stuff. So I'm just, I don't know. I've like I said, I've seen some arguments. Like I said, there's times that he's right, he did, or whatever. But there's also times that she's kind of right. He did kind of sound like that. I won't say it, but I mean, I'm thinking, I'm uncomfortable. I'm just like, you guys remember I'm here, right? So it's not like I haven't seen them argue. I don't want to say fight. Disagree vehemently. Yeah, but I haven't gotten into where I actually yelled at her. But when she said she's calling BS on the hand, there's text, voice to text. I said, well, I did. I yelled and I deliberately did a voice. I said, I know I'm doing it on purpose. Well, fuck you. My hand is hurting and I have been having problems. It was kind of like that. I didn't say it like that, but fuck you. You're calling bullshit. Who are you, little Miss Know-It-All Android Pants? You know for a fact iPhones have shit. iPhones also come pre-installed with its face to, with its video thing. Android has none of that. They can do things that Android doesn't with the phones and stuff and the filters and shit. Android doesn't have the same thing. So, I mean, I just thought it was rather presumptuous. And am I wrong? I just thought, well, saying you know that when you know fucking well I don't have iPhone, it just seemed very presumptuous. And I'm just curious. I mean, I know you're just hearing this side and I'm trying to be fair, but am I wrong for feeling like that seemed very presumptuous? She knows, and they also use iPhone and Macs. Their tablets and stuff, they're all Macs. Their laptops, their computer, it's Mac. It's opposite of, and I'm PC. So when you make your window go down on the right, it's on the left, I believe, on Mac. Everything's like opposite. So you can't just assume you know how somebody else's system, what it's capable of, if you don't even use that system. And I have not. If you know of, on an Android, how to do voice to text on a text without just typing it out or doing a voice message on text, which is what she doesn't approve of, apparently. Which I've tried to do, but this hand was hurting me. I was very triggered by it. I admit that, but would you have felt kind of in that situation if they just assumed, well, I know that I'm calling bullshit, like I'm lying to her? That was an insult to me. And I don't know if she understands how, yes, I know sometimes I say things and I'm not meaning it that way, but it sounds that way. But she doesn't really like to admit that herself. She does have, because I've seen it with her and her husband, where she does not want to admit she made an error. She does not like to do it. I mean, when I say not like, none of us like to say, yeah, I was wrong. But some of us, we can be like, all right, I was wrong, okay, I'm sorry. And then some of y'all can just fight it and act like, and I was just yelling at myself because I'm like, I am so tired of being the youngest. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, even if it's just by a couple years, it's like you're always the youngest one. You'll understand it I'm 60 fucking 2 years old. Enough with the little sister behave, Ugh. And I agree. Doing the voice one angry and yelling that she insulted me. And she compared me to our mother, which she knows is triggering. So when you do all of that and you then first admit that you didn't even listen to the reason, maybe I told you at the end that I know you don't like the voice thing, but my hand's just hurting, which I actually think I probably might have said on it. I don't remember. But she didn't listen to it all to know that. And that's where it first triggered me. Because right from the start, after I made those just to let them know about Spotify. Because I know don't pay attention to that. Unless they're told. Just coming right off by saying, you know I don't like that. I didn't even listen to it. How about saying, is there a reason why you gave me that when you know I can't deal with those? She could have done that. She didn't. So. And all of this was in a group text with other people in it. So I'm very stymied about that. But I keep saying I went back to being petty, and then I'm going to go. I got pissed, and after I sent the last where I yelled and did the deliberate just to piss her off, because my hand is actually hurting while I'm talking. I've been like rubbing it just like I do the other one off and on all day. And I said, and I just taped up, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done here. That's what I wrote. I'm done here. And I sent it, and like a few seconds later, maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds later, she typed, it popped up like an arrow, and it just said done, or with a check mark or whatever it was. But mine was first. So I said, I'm out now. Later. Before she did. So petty. So petty. But as the youngest, if any of you are the youngest in more than like more than just one other kid. Because you're not youngest, you're just second. But if you're the youngest of a couple kids in the family, let me know. Do you know what I'm saying about that? I said it first. I said, you know what? I am too pissed right now. I'm done. And ditched before you did. And it wasn't, oh, I dismissed you before you dismissed me. It was you know what? I am not dealing with this. I am too pissed off right now. I'm going to be adult before I say something more. And I'm out. Exit stage left. You know? And then like several seconds later, it's like, done. I'm like, well, hanging up the phone when somebody's already hung up on you kind of doesn't have the same effect. So petty. So petty. It was. And I'm laughing, but I'm just not happy that the whole thing occurred. What the fuck did I do that brought that ferocity of, I'm not going to pay any attention to it here. Okay. Yeah, she came in fucking blazing. And you didn't even think, oh my God. Not happy any of it happened. But, I haven't even made anything to eat. I'm just sad. Just fucking not happy. So, wonder if I have any syrup. Oh, I rarely eat bread, but I do have some eggs. And they're not even golden. I'm just thinking, this French toast actually might be sounding good. And I'm not a French, I mean, I like French toast, but I'm not a bread. So, yeah, I don't usually have bread, but it's like that all grain seeds and all kinds of stuff in it. That's pretty good when it's French toast. So if I have some syrup, which I might. Oh, I have honey, though. That's even better. Maybe I'll just go make myself spoil myself with some French toast, and then do some more rage graphics. Yeah, I'm just so tired of being angry. But if you let that anger fade, then you just get complicit, and it's too easy just to slide into that pipeline of, well, I'll protest tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll do it. Well, I'll do something tomorrow. I can't. Because people have to be, it has to be in your face constantly. It has to be in people's faces to get them to realize this is how judges and stuff are starting to, like I was telling you, because this is why the Democrats caved that last time. But they see us out there protesting after protesting after protesting after month after week after overpasses over and over. We just don't shut the fuck up. And there's people on channels saying, no, they're lying about everything. There's people on graphics going, excuse me, hello. And that's the only reason they held out this time. Because the people, activists and the protesters that are out there all the time or whenever they can, we are showing them, excuse me, we watching, we're awake, we see what's happening. Hell no. And that's giving them the courage, because they know that if we are hurt, it's not because of them. Our Democrat leaders are knowing that we're not blaming them, but we're telling them to get out there and fight, damn it. We've got the rags, we've got the water. You get the fuck back out there now and fight. We'll be here with this shit when it's break time. Get out there. That's why they're holding their ground this time. Because they know we will get out there and tell everybody, no, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. If you hear it from enough of us over and over, daily, hourly, no matter where you turn, one of the creators has made a graphic or is telling you on a video, they're lying. Let me show you. They're willing to fight because they're not going to be blamed in the election when they have time for re-election. They know that we're not going to blame them. So they're willing to hold out. No matter what the Republicans claim it's their fault. They know that we're out there saying it's not their fault. Your politicians are lying, Republicans. It's not our fault. You see how that works? So it's a little good news. It's not a done deal yet, but there are judges going, fuck no. And if a Tennessee judge, it ain't like Tennessee's all that blue, is it? And if they are saying, no, because they know the red states are the ones that need the most. But I know no red states filed. So I'm not sure. Maybe Tennessee is blue. I don't know. Sad to say. I'm sure I'll have somebody from Tennessee saying, we are. But the point is, maybe it wasn't Tennessee judge that. I could be wrong. I only listened to him for a short time. I was still thinking about the argument with my sister. That's bugging me. But, I'm just going to let it sit tonight. But, just the fact that the courts are letting the administration know, we know you're lying and you're not going to do this. They can't just say, hey, no. But if somebody brings it up to them, brings a case to them, they could say, oh yeah, we were watching. This is so wrong. But they can't go and initiate a case themselves. They could just hope somebody says, a state says something, and then so they could be like, hell yeah, you need to get them in those funds there. The well isn't dry. Their patience with us not just lying down and letting them walk on us. That's what is dry. Their patience. They were hoping, just like Putin was saying, 3 days will have Ukrainians walking, will be walking on the Ukrainians. They thought that we would just lay down and concede if they overwhelmed us. They didn't count on the resistance. Even in witch hats. Well, their resistance is anonymous, and we are a legion. I should do another one of those. Because, guys, Jimmy Kimmel's back. They'll fix this snap thing. There's a glimmer, and if Michael Popak's giving a glimmer of hope, then it's something. It's like if Mark Elias or Robert Reich gives you that glimmer of this is a good thing, guys. It's small, but it's a good thing. Just give it a few more days. If they say that, you can count on that. They're not just shining you on. And they don't say that kind of stuff, those guys, unless, try to give false encouragement or false hope. Those three are definitely not saying things for clicks. They're telling you the truth. That's what gets them their clicks. You can count on what they're saying legally. Now, our food pantry, where I am, our food pantry has already let us know that normally at the food pantry, like on November, you get that extra, like the Thanksgiving bags with the stuff to make Thanksgiving dinner, on top of your monthly, things, because usually you're cooking for the family and, the whole thing. More people, but they've already told us that those will not be disappearing. Those have already been accounted for. They're already bagging them. Turkeys are already in freezers. They're not rescinding those at all. And so, at least in my county, and I gotta tell you, during COVID, so many food banks just closed for a period of time. They never did. Yes, they went from like maybe a monthly 8 bags to like 1.5, and they had to bring it to the people and drop it off and then go, and then you could get it in, type of thing, because it was COVID. But so many of them all over this country just had to close for COVID. They didn't have the supplies. They didn't have the people. They figured a way to get something to you, at least. Something. And I'm super grateful for being here at this point in time, because at least they're fighting. And that's about all I know as far as that goes. But hopefully that wasn't a scary update. It was a happy Halloween update. It was a hopeful Halloween. And so, at least tonight, I probably am not going to be as stressed. I had grilled cheese and cream of mushroom soup last night. And it was good. It was rye bread grilled cheese with sharp white cheddar mixed with Swiss. Good tang. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go do that. I can make a little salad too. But I hope your Halloween didn't totally suck. Mine didn't totally suck. I'm not feeling quite so bad because there's a lot of people, it seems, aren't. A lot of them might not even be home, so we'll just go with that. I wasn't home, kids. Emotionally, I was not home. It's a real bummer because I had an awesome costume, this hat, and I was just going to do it awesome. But this morning, my headspace was, you little fucking bastards, I hate you all, you demon cabinet of scum that are all going to be cursed to the seventh circle of hell. I swear. When this Reich topples, y'all, the first full moon after we topple this administration, we're all dancing naked in the moonlight. Yep, singing hallelujah songs, passing the dabs around. Yeah, fuck yeah. See you out there at the first full moonlight after the fall of the Fourth Reich. Is that a date?